Hi, this is Mariano from Fabric, and today I will do a quick overview on the latest version of Fabric. We start with an empty dashboard like this one, and on the left we have our panel where we can do our actions. We can switch dashboards, and to start we can click on design where we will get this designer, and also on the left we have a panel with all the available options. To create a new element of these ones, we just click and drag and it will create a new element. We can click it once to toggle the available options. We can double click the text to set the label, my source for example. And what we tend to do initially is to go to settings. In case of a source, we can select the type of the event source. For now we will use sample event source, which is a sample event source we use to play with the application when we don't have a real event source yet, or to let users play with the application without having to go to push some events or start an agent. Now we have our source working. We can see the number on the right increasing. That means events are flowing. We can click on the bubble to display the events. We can drag this window and resize it. Here we can see the information from the event. We see we have a channel which we set in the configuration, sample channel username. The timestamp is a number that represents the current time, well, the time when the event was created. A value field, that's an object, that means it has also inside fields. Here we can see it has a random field, amount, name, continent, country code, country name, and some other information. And each event has a unique ID if we need it for something. We can see that the events update as they come. The events on the right, on the elements on the left panel are as follows. This is a transformer, which we can use to transform events, that is to add fields, remove fields, change the value of fields. A filter, which is used to remove events from the stream. For example, let's try it quickly. I click on the source, click on the connect button, and then click on the element I want to connect. Let's go to the transformer. On the left also we have a panel with all the blocks we can use to add logic to transform our event. We also have templates, which are pre-made blocks of logic you can reuse. And we also have widget templates. For each widget we provide some templates of stuff you may want to do. And endpoint templates, which is a type of element I will describe later. For now, let's just set a field to a value. Let's say set my name to text. My name is Mariano. So now I will click OK. And we can see if we click here that the events are flowing out of the transformer, and they have a new field called my name with the value Mariano. Sorry. Now we have our filter, which by default will filter everything if not configured. We will go straight to the templates, where we can see there's a filter template, and we can say if the value field, for example, let's say name equals, let's remove this and go to text and say if name is food, then keep true, otherwise keep false. This will start filtering. We can see that the name field has a name of categories, like sales categories, and we can see that a lot of events come in, but just some come out. In this case, only events containing name set to food are left out. Let's reverse it so we get more events out. We just change from equal to not equal, and now we have more events out. So now we used a source, a transformer, a filter. Now let's use a widget. We just drag it. Let's put names to it. Keep food out. This add my name. Let's create a pie chart. Let's name it. I click it. Go to settings. Let's say for pie chart. We have many widgets. We can select new widgets. We can add more widgets by adding new plugins. Let's leave everything as is. Let's connect the filter to the pie chart. And now it will start complaining because the pie chart expects two fields at least. We can see here on the top right that a red bubble appears and it says it expects the val field to be a number. We can go to the transformer to try to make what the pie chart needs. We go to the pie chart template, we see what the required fields are, and it requires a val field and a label field. Let's do a pie chart with sales by category. So the val field will be set to the value field amount. I will explain what that means. You can see there are fields and values. I will show you what are those. Fields are the top level ones: channel, username, field name. So if we get a field, we get a top level name from the top level, and if we set it on the top level. When we mean values, we mean fields inside the value object, which are normally the fields you want to use. So now we are setting val to the value from amount and val to the value of name. We can see them here. And we still filter food. Let's go to the dashboard and we can see we have a pie chart that accumulates on the category name, and food is left out. We can double click on the top and say sales by category. We can drag the widget freely, we can resize it, or we can use layouts. In this case we only have one widget, so there's not much we can do, but let's quickly add some new element. For example, if I do a bar chart, we try to keep all the widgets with the same expected values, so they should behave the same way. But for example, now let's do a bar chart with getting the values before the filter, so food should appear. Let's go to layouts, select one. We can see here that food is there. Now let's continue with let's put, for example, let's drag a new one. We can see that we have a amount that is kind of random, so it will be noisy, but we have a value that increments and decrements. So let's invent something to chart. We go to widget template, we go to chart, and the required fields are val and label, as you would expect. Here we will use the value field name value, and as label we will use just a fixed name, just to get a different chart. And now let's connect this. And layouts, I didn't configure the chart yet, so it's not being displayed. Chart, let's leave it as it is, and let's name it again layouts. Let's pick this one, and the value is pretty boring. It will go from 0 to 100 and then to 0 again, but just to avoid drawing random numbers that will make the chart really noisy. So we already saw source, transformer, filters, and widgets. We have this, which is what we call a state loader. This is used to load events when the dashboard loads, so your dashboard gets populated initially. We have two. Depending on the applications you load, you will get more. Sample event history, which is a sample loader that will generate a number of events when the dashboard loads, and event history, which is used to load events. If you send events to our backend through our API, you will get events there. So let's do sample event history. The configuration is the same as the sample event source. So we click OK, and let's my history. And now what we may want to do is to connect the state loader to the same elements as the source, because when the dashboard loads, the first events will flow from the state loader, and when the dashboard finish loading, it will start using the source. But we don't want to connect them all directly because it will be a mess of connections. So we will click on the connections and cut them. You can see that the color changes according to the traffic it has. We will move a little bit. And we will use the next element, which is a hub. It's just an element that will forward all the events it receives to all the elements it's connected. It's just a way to organize our connections a little bit more. So, and now we have our dashboard. We can set it to view mode. We'll continue later. And now I will reload the dashboard, and it should be populated with sample data initially. You can see we got 50 events at the beginning. We can go to the designer and see that we got 50 events, and after it loaded the initial 50 events, it won't do anything more, and our source started working after that. So that's a state loader. Now what we can do also, let's do a new element. I will show you how to concatenate information. Let's use a new sticker. Use Markdown is used to have formatting on the widget. Something I didn't say. For example, if you click on a chart and you click on the eye, you will get the widget highlighted. So if you have more than a pair of widgets, you can know which one is which. If you forgot, for example, to label them. Of course, you can also remove it. For transformers and for filters, you can duplicate it. So if you had a lot of logic and you want to reuse it in another transformer, you just click here and you will get a new instance with the same configuration, and the same for the filter, and of course you can remove it too. Now I had this new sticker. Let's name it ticker. Let's do some string concatenation here to show a little bit more advanced usage of the block language. So let's go to configuration. If we go to widget templates and new sticker, we can see the only required field is val, which is a string where we can put anything we want. Let's leave it at value name and see what happens. Well, first we have to connect it. So let's go to layout. We are printing just the name of the category and the time when it happened. But now we want to do something else. You may have seen on a dashboard that's available on the main page at the moment, where we have a more complex ticker. Let's build that. Let's start with just the country name and amount. We may want to go to text format and make it bold. So okay, and now we can see the name of the country in bold and then the value. Let's go back. We have a template that's useful here. Set color by threshold. We say if amount is less than 30, then let's say it's a bad sale. So we set it to red and the label color to white, so it's easier to read. If the amount is less than 60, then yellow, otherwise green. And that should do it. Now we have the color. Let's say we also want the flag. So we go to text format and we see we have image from here. We will add 2 new items to the string concatenation. We'll put the image here and let's copy the text. I just do Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. You can do it by right clicking and copy and paste. So we have, you have to build the path to the image. We happen to have flags for every country hosted on Fabric, so you just have to provide the country code .png. So we write here country code, and if the image is not there, we just leave it empty. We don't provide a text. And now we have the flag of the country. Something we can do on almost all widgets is to filter. For example, if I want to see the latest sales of Chile, I can just write Chile. If I want to see anything containing the word Republic, I can filter and it will update with the latest events that contain that filter. Of course, I can also clear the widgets. And now our latest addition is we have started playing with 3D widgets, and if you select the 3D widgets app, you will get something called 3D globe, which you can click. You can pick if you want to use the word day or word night texture. Let's pick word day. Let's name it 3D globe, and let's make it to something. We will, as always, connect the transformer and then connect it. This widget expects 3 elements, but we don't have to remember, we can just pick the template. So it says latitude, longitude and val, and we happen to have those fields ct.lat. Let's remove, oops. This. Oops. So we just map from the values we have, and let's go to layouts and select something like this. Let's move this from here to here. We'll use this layout, and if we move, we can see some bars will appear on different places. The value is proportional to the population in that point, and we also, to continue, we have endpoints, which are ways to generate some feedback from the application, from the dashboard. We can right now send events back to Fabric or play a sound. I don't think you will hear the sound if I configure it, but you just have to provide the frequency and the volume, and it will generate a sound that will be useful, for example, if you get an alarm and you want to grab attention. So endpoints are a way to generate actions back to the system, to other systems. The remaining elements are the timer element. We have different actions that we can be used by time. For example, group by time. Let's try it. Let's say emit group every 10 seconds. and the channel will be name grouped. So if we put it here, for example, let's name it group and connect it. You can see it generated an empty list, and now every 10 seconds will emit a list of all the events that received in those 10 seconds. In this case, it's receiving 10 events every 10 seconds because the source is generating events every second. The other timer we have is Throttle, which we can say just emit one event every 5 seconds. It will keep the last event it saw, and when 5 seconds happen, it will emit that event, only the last one. So see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it should emit 1, which is the last one. So in case we have a source that generates a lot of events, but we just care about one every 10 seconds or something, we can use that. We also have a ticker, which will just generate a tick. So we can do this, for example, to check if something happened. Even we want to check it just once every 30 seconds. We can say that, and then connect this ticker to a transformer that will do the check for us. And something I forgot to mention, we have a source that may be useful. If you pick event selected here, it says there's nothing to configure. We go here, and for example, I click around and go back to design, and I can see there are 2 events. Those events are the places I clicked. So some widgets now when they are clicked can report back the event where you clicked, and some others, for example bar charts and pie charts, cannot know about the event directly because they are accumulating, but they can provide information. For example, here it says that I clicked on electronic, and the value at that moment was 3,400 something. And if we have more than one, let's set this widget ID to pi, and let's set the bar chart to bar. So if I go back and click on the pie chart and on the bar chart, I can know where the click comes from. For example, if I'm displaying information in multiple places and I want to react differently to each of those, I can do it. And one thing you may have noticed here on the bottom, when I click or hover over an element, I get the help at the bottom changes. You can click there to get more documentation about the element. And so those are all the elements and most of the usage for them. This one, the last one, is kind of experimental. You can write JavaScript here, but I don't recommend it because it's only a escape hatch in case you cannot do something, and we use it less and less over time. We are planning even to remove it. Just for you to know, if you know JavaScript, you can write directly, but you shouldn't. So that's an overview of Fabric. For example, we have a nice dashboard now, and you can of course play more with it. You have more dashboards. If you, for example, of course you can create a new dashboard. These are the apps I was talking about. Fabric is a platform. You can add more functionality like event sources, endpoints, widgets, and elements through plugins. We keep adding plugins as we need them. For this dashboard, I use the widgets plugin and the 3D widgets, but you can add more sources, more widgets, and edit is to edit the title or the apps you are loading. Remove allows you to remove the dashboard, and you can back up the dashboard before removing it. You can share your dashboard. You will get a URL for it, you can provide to people to have a read-only view of the dashboard, and you can stop sharing at any point. Layouts I already displayed. We have different pre-made layouts, and you can also, not only you can change layouts, but inside, if you click one and then other, they will change places, and you can use layout. Edit mode allows you to set the title, value over time, move the widget manually or resize it manually, but we tend to use layouts. And settings, if you're depending on the permissions you have more or less settings. For a default user, you can only change your password, and you can go to help and log out. Okay, so this was everything, an overview of MM Fabric. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have questions, you can contact us. You have our contact on the MM Fabric website. Bye.